Hello and welcome to RealTalk Thursdays with Sharice Clark and the Clark team at Taylor Properties. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Bridget McGee. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, so good to see you.
Nice to see you also. Bridget, tell me a little bit about what you're currently doing.
Okay, I am the Maryland Mortgage Mama. I have been in the mortgage business almost 20 years now, which is just crazy to think.
Time goes so quickly.
It goes quick. And my brother and I actually work together. We're with a company now called SWBC Mortgage. They're based out of Texas, but our team is in Marriottsville, Maryland. So we're a Maryland division of a Texas company. And I love what I do. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. I love our veterans. My husband is retired military. Okay. My dad was retired military, so that's one of my favorite little groups that I get to work with.
Very good.
And first-time buyers are so much fun. Even though it can be a little challenging and scary, it is. It's really neat to be able to see them get from I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to qualify to getting to the closing table. And then, certainly working with people that have more challenges, maybe, somebody who's getting divorced or something like that and trying to navigate how that is going to work, or even moving on to their second home, or, people talk about right sizing or talk about downsizing, but it really is just right sizing, because it could be they're moving up to a bigger home because they have, their kids are now growing up, or they're moving down to a condo because they don't want that outside maintenance or whatever it is. So it's, I do a lot. It's pretty much the answer to that question.
Indeed you do. So we met at a training for the Maryland mortgage program.
Yeah, it's actually the Maryland Association of Realtors puts on a class for real estate agents that is it's called the Housing Opportunity Certification. Yes. And real estate agents come, it's not a required class. One of the things that I love about teaching it is these are not people that have to be there. These are people that come to this class because they really they want to be able to serve their clients in the best way possible. So they come they do get continuing education credits, but they're it's above and beyond what they have to do. So for me, I love that, because that tells me that not only are they the kind of people that I like to work with because they care so much about their clients, that they're willing to do this extra education like you, to come in and be able to say, I'm going to sit all day long and listen to people talk about things that I want to make sure that I can pass on to my clients, or information that I need. And so I teach the federal initiatives, which is kind of Mortgage 101, but we also talk about some stories of things that happen and things that people need to be aware of and think they need to watch out for, and that kind of thing. And there's also the Maryland Mortgage Program. There's a representative from their department that comes and goes through and talks about all the different programs and what's happening now, because those programs change. There's somebody else that comes and talks about the Maryland programs, and then typically there's an extra class. It could be about credit or renovation loans or something that's more specific.
So yeah, we learned a lot during that training course. Can you talk a little bit about some of the fantastic programs that the state of Maryland offers?
Oh my gosh, the state of Maryland has their own programs, and then each individual location may have certain programs. So the Maryland Mortgage Program has their standard program, which is a $5,000 0% loan. So that means that it's basically $5,000 that you can borrow with no payment due until you sell, refinance, or transfer the property. And that can be used for down payment and for closing costs. And then beyond that, so that one's always available. Then beyond that, there are special loans for if somebody is in the lower income brackets. They might get an extra $1,500 tacked on to a different loan. There is the Maryland Smart Buy program, which is fantastic for people that have student loans.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh. It started out as loans that could only be for specific properties. They were actually foreclosed properties, and that is still available. And you had to meet certain criteria to fit within that loan. But then they've expanded it. So now it's called the Smart Buy 2.0 program, and they offer up to $40,000 in student loan forgiveness.
Wow.
So what they do is they take the $40,000 in student loan debt and they roll it into a second mortgage. So it pays off all of that student loan debt. It becomes a zero interest loan, and it gets forgiven at 20% a year for 5 years. So by the 5th year, it's completely forgiven.
Oh, wow.
That can be combined with that $5,000 0% interest and really help people that have student loans. Now, there's a couple of things, all of these programs have requirements. All of the student loan program, or all of the Maryland mortgage programs have a 640 minimum credit score.
Okay.
So people that have some challenges with their credit really need to work on that to get to that minimum. And certainly the higher that they get, the better options that they're going to have. There cannot be any additional student loan debt left after that $40,000.
Okay.
So if somebody has, I had a client call the other day that said, I have an attorney and I have $200,000 in student loan debt. Unfortunately, although they meet the income requirements for the program, they don't meet the student loan debt program. So they would have to pay off that student loan debt in addition to that $40,000 in a different way. So really, it's for a pretty specific niche of people, but it's a great loan for the right buyers.
It sounds like it. Wow.
Yeah.
How many of those are you doing?
Well, again, it's very specific to the buyers and if it's the right program for them. So a lot of people may come and they'll say, okay, I really love the student loan program, and it turns out that for whatever reason it's not a good fit for them.
Okay.
So we really try to focus on what's right for the client. And so I've done a couple of them, and my company right now, actually I just changed companies, and they're working on determining if that's going to be a good fit for our company. So I'd have to probably refer that out, but I still like to talk about it because I think it's a great program, even if it's something that I can't do. I always look at it as I don't know if you've ever seen Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes.
So Santa, if Macy's doesn't have it and Gimbel's does, he tells the families that they should go to Gimbel's and get the present. And that's kind of the way I've always run my business. If it's something that I can't do, that I know about, that somebody else can do, I'm going to refer them to somebody who's going to be able to take care of them. But which is great because it ends up being, people know that I'm honest at what I do, that I have integrity, and that they're going to then refer people who maybe don't fit that criteria, but still want to get a home. So it works out really well. There's also another great program that is right now called the Grant Assist program. That one is amazing because it offers 4% of the loan amount towards down payment or closing costs, and it's immediately forgivable.
Oh, wow.
So that means that you don't make any payments on that, and if you're buying a $300,000 house, you're getting, depending on how much you're putting down, it's 4% of the loan amount can cover all of that down payment. You've got a seller that's going to help to contribute towards your costs. You can come to the table with very little money.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great. Again, there's a little bit of a drawback because the interest rate's a bit higher. But if you need the money, it's a great option.
Oh, wow. There's always trade-offs, but definitely lots of good programs.
Yep.
And so, Bridget, if people want to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
They can reach me at marylandmortgagemama.com. That's Maryland, the state, all spelled out. Mortgage, MORTGAGE, mama, MAMA, at .com. So marylandmortgagemama.com. Or they can call me at 410-960-2061.
All right, you guys got that? And thank you for joining Real Talk Thursdays.
Thanks, Sharice.
All right.